Hey everybody, Brian here. In this video I want to show you this car here. This is a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. This is a Comfort Line model and it's a 2-litre diesel model, so it's a 150 horsepower engine. Actually, do you know what? These I find to be quite economical cars, even though it's a 2-litre, so a lot of people like the idea of having the larger engine because so many SUVs these days are, 1.6 and 1.5. This car drives really good. Cabin is nice and tidy all the way through. Anyway, we're going to have a look around the features on the outside and the inside of the car as well, but they drive good. This is a nice low mileage example, so like 42,000 kilometers, nicely looked after car, good condition inside and out, and it's got a sunroof which is a little bit noisy and it's not exactly the weather for today, but still it's lovely. Lets some nice light into the car when you're in the cabin as well, which is I think it's really nice. And it is I suppose, look, I've driven enough cars in my time. This feels like a really nice, well looked after, honest car. So in terms of like the brakes and the gearbox and the clutch and the steering and all those kind of things, they all feel really good. Looking at the controls, the way it's been looked after, even the way it came into us, it just feels like a nice, genuinely nicely looked after vehicle from day one. So in my opinion, it drives good. Now, to be fair, anyone, we've had plenty of Tiguans for sale at the garage over the last few years. Now maybe it's the people that come to look at them, they already know what they're expecting, but I don't think I've ever had anyone come back and not like it to drive. So anyway, Tiguan I suppose is a very established kind of brand in this country anyway, so there's so many people that like Volkswagen. So what do I see? Down through here there is front fog lights, parking light and daytime running lights in through there, obviously double optic lights, so your dip and your full are separate, so you get good light. There is nice chrome along the front of the grille, and to be fair, it's a kind of stubby square front end, which I kind of like in SUVs. I suppose for me, SUVs are nicer looking the squarer they are, and maybe that's not always aerodynamic, but I just think they look kind of bigger and tougher when they're like that. The wheels I see are nice diamond cut, so shiny and reflective, so you have dark areas where the brake dust doesn't show up as much, and then these are shiny and reflective under artificial light or the sun or that, which matches. Chrome around the window, brushed aluminium roof rails, and actually I noticed that actually there is some chrome along the bottom, so that matches the diamond cutting on the wheel. Black and chrome together, to be fair, and a lot of cars sometimes I like not having chrome, but I think on black, chrome always works really, really well. The taillights look to be a nice LED, so in through here you got this strip set up, and then these two lights in here, the reverse lights are LED, and the indicators are not LED, but this is the fog light, and then over here this is the LED reverse light. So in terms of the back, I also see the car has privacy glass on the rear, and it's nice, it's not too dark, but it is effective, I'd say. The boot I found on Tiguan's to be quite good. This one has a boot protector. I'm not sure if that comes standard in them, maybe it does, but obviously it protects the boot. And then under here you have a nice, it is a space saver, but it's a large space saver, so it'll give you some degree of comfort if you have to use it. The boot's in good condition. I think this is after saving a lot of the boot, and that's what they're there to do. That is a handle for closing it down. This is an awesome feature here, okay? I really can't understand how more manufacturers haven't got this in cars. I'll show you in a second when we get into the car. When you go for reverse, you can wash that. So if you have a car with reverse camera, which a lot of people do these days, or maybe don't anyway, but if you're going to buy a car with the reverse camera, fine. When water gets up in the back of them and dirt gets up in the back of them, they're useless. They really are. They are absolutely useless unless you walk around and wipe it. I'm sure other cars have it, but this is the first one I've seen that actually has a washer. When you go for reverse, it cleans the camera. That is so intelligent. Whoever thought of that. 3 head restraints, 3 3-point safety belts, armrest in the center with some drinks holders. There is trays in here. And actually I'm such an idiot at the first, I couldn't figure out how to push it up anymore. You squeeze that one there, and that allows you to adjust it up and down. There's also ventilation in the rear, so the rear passengers then have USB, they have 12 volt, they have temperature choice, and they also have their own ventilation, and again more kangaroo pockets in there. To sit behind myself, so if I look at this car, like let's say for example that passenger seat's actually really far back, but as a driver, do I look comfortable? Yeah, I wouldn't sit any further forward, I wouldn't sit any further back. So if I go to sit behind myself, one thing I found about these Skodas, Seats, Volkswagens, I know this sounds really dumb, right? I can't describe it any other way. The floor feels really low, as in the floor down here, not where you sit. So if anything, your posture is probably much better in this. You don't, like on the Tucson, to be fair, you kind of slouch back a bit when you're sitting in these. Whereas this one, you kind of sit more upright, which is much better for your back on a long journey. Look at the legroom I have behind myself. When you look at this car, it doesn't look like a long car, but the legroom is really, really awesome. There is a coat hanger here. There is lighting, which is nice LED up here. Now, one thing you always find, LED over there, LEDs up through there. This one has the panoramic glass roof, which is cool, and it opens. I'll show you that in a sec. And usually with those then you get LEDs on the side, because obviously you don't have a roof to put the light up in here. Child locks back here, electrics for windows, brushed aluminium along here, brushed aluminium along the door handle as well. And looking around, the condition's quite nice. That seat then is obviously height adjustable. There's also lumbar support for your lower back for the driver. And it looks like the passenger also gets lumbar support. So often forgotten in many cars. Again, actually, height adjuster. So right, the driver's seat and the passenger seat gets the same level of adjustability, which really is something that gets forgotten in cars too much, because the driver and the passenger should be comfortable. Right, electrics for windows over here, heated mirrors, central locking, lighting and fog light controls. Key is in through there. This is the multifunction display in through here, so things like average speed and fuel efficiency and all that kind of information is in through there. Controls for Bluetooth and cruise control as well in through there. One thing that's really handy on Volkswagen, so I can drive away and the handbrake automatically releases, right? Nothing major there, but what is major for me is we used to sell Honda, sell Hyundai still, obviously. If I turn off the car, the handbrake automatically comes on. Honda, Hyundai, you gotta lift it, you gotta engage it. On these, it is actually self-engaging, which I think is brilliant. Really, really handy. Then after that, you also have parking sensors on the vehicle down through here, and it also has a park assist function. It's got a nice big camera in through the center there, so go for reverse. Obviously, it's giving me noise when I'm going backwards, and it's also giving me trajectory of my travel, and it's also telling me around here what's going on around the car, and there's lots of settings on it as well. The park assist function then, I've never used it and I'm going to have to learn about it, but you turn it on. It's looking for the left hand side at the moment. I've pressed the indicator, it brings me to the right. I don't know how to use it, I'm not going to lie to you, so I presume it's going to just line me up along here somewhere and tell me, oh, it's looking for parallel parking spaces. So in this case, is it finding one? Yeah, let's look on the left up here, there's one over here. Okay, so it's found a space. I'm going to select reverse. Okay, this is a bit mad. That's cool. That is really cool, I think. That's savage. Right, okay, it works. It actually works. Right, so all I'm doing, by the way, is just coasting in reverse here. I'm not using my hands or anything like that. The steering's doing everything. Right, it starts telling me to drive forward. Oh, that's so cool. Wow. Now it's trying to straighten me up. Should you be going that way? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like, look, it's not bad. Could have done myself, of course, good. But anyway, it's cool. That is kind of cool. Over here then, there is dual zone timers, so temperature driver, temperature passenger. Do you know what's really mad on these actually, right? So look at the radio, right? Just watch it for a sec. And, you know, everything's fine. Watch when I put my hand near it. See the way these menus come up? Isn't that mad? So, take my hand away. They're gone. They become visible. So it's minimalistic when your hand's not near it. And then the resolution and stuff on these I think is really cool. It'll have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and all that kind of stuff as well. Nice and easy to use, lovely big screen. Actually, one other thing that's worth mentioning as well, this car has adaptive cruise. So you can set your cruise control, but then you can choose the distance you want to stay behind someone. So that's kind of useful, I have to say. The other thing, see the way this is really thin? It's only a casual observation, but it's electrochromatic, so it darkens itself when someone comes up behind you, and there's a little bit of storage in through there. Close it properly. And you'll also have things like Google Maps from Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and all that kind of stuff. But to be fair, I always forget, these actually come with built-in navigation as well anyway. And down below, a little bit hard to see because I actually forgot to include this earlier on. There is 2 USB connectors down there, and then all the controls for lights and stuff like that. One thing I found handy was you could actually turn on the rear lights from there. I'm sure you can do that in other cars. I just found it pretty easy to use. And the last thing then, this is a super cool feature, right? I was saying to you earlier on. If you go for reverse, right? So select reverse, grand. Okay, I've got something behind me, right? These cameras get dirty, not on this car. So if you push this forward, watch this, it washes the rear camera. That is such a good idea. So to be fair, the car has a nice level of specification. We are a family-run business in operation for almost, more than 70 years. Anyway, this car will be supplied with a warranty and an NCT actually. We can do an NCT on that as well. It has had a comprehensive service so far: oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, pollen filter, new wipers, and we'll do a complete check over before it goes anywhere anyway. If you want information on the car, 086 843 1945. We can take any trade-in, we can organise bespoke payment plans. Brian's my name. Just ask for me if you want more information, or call, text or WhatsApp 086 843 1945. Hope you like the car. Thanks for watching.